the machine is only wanting to use cold water. It doesn't want to use the hot water, and the valves are still open. Okay, so even if I close the cold water, let's see if it'll use hot water. Nope. It just wants to use cold water. It doesn't want to use the hot water. Apparently the machine got upset. It seems to be, it didn't wash yet. It was just adding water. It's making this loud racket, but it's not washing. Don't know what's going on with it. It didn't want to put out hot water. It's not washing. It just added some water. Only the cold water was working, even though this is set on hot. I stopped the cycle of wash. It's making a lot of racket again. Nothing's working. It had water in here. It did not even wash. It added some water earlier, but it did not wash. Now I have this loud noise, but no lights. Today is Saturday, March the 22nd, 2025. So the machine was not working properly. It didn't want to add hot water. It didn't want to start. It added cold water, and it only added some, and it didn't wash. And then it canceled. It canceled the wash. So for a little while it wouldn't start, so I just let it and walked away. And then I came back and I saw that a light was finally on, so then I started a wash. So we'll see how much water, and we'll see what it does, because it's not working properly. So it's been adding water after it canceled the wash. It's been adding water, but it's still not, there's still no water line. It seems like the water's just coming out and being rinsed straight out. So I'm trying to make sure this second time that I'm trying to wash the same load, it's not giving me enough water. It canceled the wash earlier. So I started a new wash. So that means it threw out the all the soap and the little bit of chlorine. It just got rinsed out without washing. Everything is still dirty. So I'll come back later and see what the machine is doing. So the machine started washing. So I want to see what it's doing. Okay. It has enough water just to cover the little cloth wipes. And I have it set at deep water, but it's not doing deep water. It's doing what it wants again. This is after it canceled the previous wash. I got the next wash to go at quick wash because it didn't want to. So apparently the sensor does not work right for deep water wash. And earlier it didn't want to dispense hot water. It was just wanting to dispense cold water. And it canceled the previous wash on its own. So I started a new wash. We'll see how this goes. The machine is quiet. I can't tell what it's wanting to do. It just will not cycle to the next cycle now. Hopefully it's just slow to do so. It should be going to the rinse and then the spin. Nope. Okay. We'll come back and see what it wants to do in a little while. So after washing, it should have gone into a rinse cycle. But the rinse light is not on. So the spin light is on, but it should be rinsing. Okay, we'll see what it's going to do next. So the washer did go into spin, but it didn't rinse the clothes. It just went from wash, okay, drained the water, and it went to spin. We'll have to see if it does a rinse. And even though I had it on deep water wash, the water line was too short, and I had to keep opening and closing the lid, and then finally it started adding water on its own. Don't know what it's wanting to do. Is it going to add water and rinse it again? But again, it didn't rinse very well. It just drained the water. It went to spin. So draining and spinning is not the same as rinsing and spinning. We should rinse and then drain and then spin. So what's it going to do next? The saga of this really bad washer. I mean, it just gets all kinds of problems. We've had the circuit board switched out 3 times, and it just kind of does what it wants. It's not... Okay, let's see what it's going to do now. It's making that loud noise, but I don't think it's doing anything when it does that loud grinding noise. So that's why I had the circuit board ended up being switched out twice because of that loud noise. It kept turning itself on. So it went to a second spin, but it didn't add enough water to rinse anything. So again, this machine goes from wash, and it'll drain water and go into spins. And now it's doing a second spin, but it didn't do a rinse. So the clothes are still going to have soap again and bleach, if that's all it's going to do. So this is some of the things that it was doing since it's had the 3rd circuit board replaced. So here's the last circuit board of the 3. This is the circuit board that was replaced. I don't know what's going on with this model. And I don't know. I think that at this point, you know, I just feel like it's not washing correctly. It makes a lot of loud noises. It stops the wash cycle when it wants. It doesn't add a real rinse. It's going to spin without doing a good rinse, so the clothes still have soap or softener or soap and bleach. I don't want to have that itchy feeling. It doesn't add enough water. It doesn't add enough water level, whether it's on auto sensing or deep water wash. The deep water wash is not working. So this is just a continuation of the problems that I had since I purchased it in the summer of 2023. Now it's March of 2025. This kind of defective washer is a really bad reflection on Whirlpool. The previous washer was a little smaller. It didn't have as many settings, and it worked fine for 24 years without breaking down. So I thought I'd do an upgrade, and man, I really regret getting this Whirlpool washer. So I keep calling the people that do the repairs, and all they can do is switch the circuit board out, and they check everything else, and everything else seems to be fine. So I don't know, eventually it would be glad if Whirlpool could send a different model. I've tried to contact them. Everything refers me back to the warranty program. The store refers me to Whirlpool. Whirlpool refers me to the warranty plan for the store. So going back and forth between Lowe's and Whirlpool. Ugh. And of course, you know, I think about just setting this out on the curb and just getting a different brand. Probably have to get something like GE or another competitor, but definitely I try to get something that just had less LED lights, less bells and whistles, so there'll be less things to break. And I thought that this with the dial setting would work as well as my previous washer that I had from 2003, 2002, until 2023. So this is the third video that I'm making where I'm trying to observe and understand what the machine is doing, because even the site to report the problems, it only has like an occasional setting or description, when in reality I'm having more than like 2 or 3 problems here. It doesn't want to dispense hot water even though the hot water valve is open. Then I come back later on a different wash and it is using hot water. It doesn't add enough water to cover the clothes, so it sounds like it's working really hard. That agitator sounds really, really stressed. The rinse cycle is not working properly, so it's going from wash and it'll go to spin, even though I need to have. And then there's that loud noise that it would be doing like that. So that's what it was doing since 2003 and through 2024. It kept turning itself on all day and all night. So I had to stop plugging it in, and I had to unplug it and just plug it in whenever I'm going to do a wash. So here it says that it's done, but it didn't do a rinse. So these little fabric, because it's just one person here, it's just me that uses this, and most of the time I just have a low amount of clothes. Yeah, this still smells like bleach. It's not very much that I added, but yeah, it smells like bleach. I think I'm going to have to try this again for it to set on a wash and try to go through a wash so that, let's see if this setting, because I can't remember. I've used this before. Okay. I'm going to see if it'll rinse and then spin. So we'll try that. We're not going to add any soap because we're trying to get the bleach and the soap smell out of there. So it's already freaking out here. What are we doing? And again, it's that deep water. But the water is not going anywhere, not even halfway up the machine. So the problems that this machine has had are different. It's been a variety of problems. Okay, so I went to rinse and spin. So all I was doing, okay. I can feel the machine spinning, but I'm wanting it to add water to rinse out the soap. It's making that loud grinding noise. I don't know what that noise is supposed to be about. That's what it did. And 2023, within a month of purchasing the machine, it was making that noise and not doing much of anything. It's not dispensing water for a rinse. It's just spinning and making that loud crunching noise. So it didn't, I don't know what it wants to do. Let's see if it's probably going to say it's done or try to go into a second spin. I'm not sure. It's not consistent, the problems that it's had, or making that loud grinding noise. But it's not doing anything. I don't know if it thinks it's done. Oh, it's going to another spin. Okay, so I'm trying to see if these things will rinse properly. I still smell bleach on it. Okay, so I still smell bleach and soap. So it didn't add enough water to rinse this. Okay, so I'm going to need to do a, I guess I'm going to have to go to new wash. And even though it's on deep wash, it wasn't adding enough water to cover those fabric dust mop things. Let me put this on a normal, and it's on hot. It's supposed to do 2 rinses. And I'll see if I can come back later and record some more. It's just really bad having to try to babysit this machine to see what it does each time. I feel like curbing this thing and just getting a competitor's brand. So this is the machine. And I buy it brand new. Only one person here that uses this machine. And it's had 3 circuit boards switched out already. Okay. Alright, so the machine just started washing. Put this be on deep wash. Put it on normal. Supposed to rinse twice. So this is because the rinse cycle did not work, so I have to go on a wash. And yeah, there's some soap in here. It has a short amount of water, so I should add a little bit more when I close the lid. That's what I've been doing to try to get a bigger water. But, you know, it's set on deep water wash. Whether it's on auto sensing or deep water wash, the machine does not dispense enough water. Both hot and cold valves are open. And earlier it didn't want to dispense the hot water, just cold water, even though I have it on hot water temperature. Oh, you know what? Let me check that now. Let's see the drops of water. No, so this is cold water that's coming out of here. So it's not, I hate to put my hands in there. Oh no, that water is cold. This water is cold, even though it's set on hot water. Ugh. Because these are little, I have tile floor, so I use these little dust mops. And then I wash them with hot water and bleach. But apparently the machine doesn't want to use the hot water. Ugh.